Welcome to Conversations with Coffee, where Kent and Liz offer stories, info, and tips about how to have a great Comic-Con. So grab a drink and listen in on our conversation.
Well, howdy there.
Hi, friends. Hello.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. All right.
We
I
have
know
a
the lady
friend.
I know the lady to my left is British Liz, the tea drinker. I'm Kent, your host, the coffee drinker. And we have special guests. Tell us who you are and where you're from.
Hi, my name is Leah. Usually I'm a coffee drinker, but today in my cup, which says "Which Please,"
Oh,
I
are you
am
sure it
drinking
says which,
tea.
please? I saw a little B in front of there.
No, it just says "Which Please." It's Halloween in my house all the time.
Oh, okay.
I am from Denver, Colorado, and I had the pleasure of meeting Liz a couple weekends ago when we both worked Fan Expo.
I'm sorry.
I love her, so I'm sorry, Kent, you're not cool.
I was on the cool side of the Denver Comic-Con. You guys were not so cool, line. So
We were cool.
I was there. I was just on the other side of the curtain from Liz.
So you were kind of back in catty corner, weren't you, behind me?
I was literally right behind you. It just had a double walled.
So I probably saw you in passing, but just didn't know who you were.
I think you must have blocked it out, actually.
I'm not that famous yet. You know, we probably only have one subscriber, so it's hard for them to get around, you know. There you go.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Totally fine. I will plug you in my Discord as well as all my social media.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And I just got some coffee delivered. Oh, I got my coffee. Yes.
Okay, but if it's not Cafe Bustelo, get your money back.
Oh, this is a Pacific blend that I got. I mean, what was the coffee that Cafe what?
Cafe Bustelo, it's a Puerto Rican espresso.
Ooh, no sponsorship yet, but who knows?
Not yet.
I'm always jonesing for the coffee sponsors because I will plug them all the day long because I drink at least 1 to 2 cups a day. So
I feel that.
Cheers
I'm
to you
on
guys.
two. Well, yeah, usually it's 1, but sometimes like today, it was 2 cups.
Like 3.
And Cafe Bustelo is like the only thing that does it for me.
That sounds good. I mean, you might have to send me some. Like, that's steep.
So you can get it at any local grocery store.
Look at this plug right here. Oh, there you go. Sponsorship. Awesome. Well, cheers to everybody that is here that got their tea, their coffee. This is our show. If you're new here, Liz and I are totally opposites. I'm a guy. She's a girl. She's fake British. I'm American. But the common connection is we love Comic-Cons, and that's why we do this show. It's called Conversation with Coffee. So,
and we wanted to have Leah come on the program today.
Look at that, covering her up right there.
Because she, Fan Expo Denver, was the first time she was a crew member.
Yes.
For a con.
Wait. First time being crew. All right. So for all you listeners, we got a newbie on the show. Newbie from a Comic-Con perspective. Like, we are going to break this down because, you know, Liz and I mean, just myself, I've got 30 years of experience. Liz, well, you know, she is halfway there. But I love talking to newbies.
But what's the fun thing? Because, you know, we've forgotten probably.
Oh, yeah. We've forgotten half the stuff that happens as a newbie and stuff like that. So were you working for Keith?
So, no. I was contracted through Blue Crew. So Keith was like...
That's Keith. That's
who
his company.
We're supposed to report to. But I daily reported to Shane and Danae, who now goes by Danny.
Yep.
And yeah, my first time working a Comic-Con, and it was actually nice to work one because I was always interested in the ins and outs of what happens behind the scenes.
All right. Now I'm going to drill you, and Liz, you can chime in here. And this is for all our listeners, because a lot of our listeners, our podcast is about sharing tips and tricks and how to navigate through a Comic-Con, because so many people show up to Comic-Cons and don't know what to do. Okay.
100%.
So my first question for you.
Oh, sorry.
I'm talking
okay,
here.
fine.
You butt in later. No, I'm just kidding. This is how we are, Leah.
It's okay.
So,
it's like a family. Dysfunctional, but it works.
It does. It does. I mean, we know Liz is dysfunctional. She's a fake British. And
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, calm down.
Trust me, I will harass her till the day she passes away. All right. And then I will dance.
I look forward to it.
I'll do the jig on her grave.
Getting back.
Anyways, all right. So have you attended Comic Cons before you decided you want to know the ins and outs?
Yes. So Fan Expo Denver was technically my 4th Comic Con that I've attended this year alone.
Okay. This year. Okay.
Yes. This year
What were
alone.
the other 3?
The other 3 were beginning in February was Nashville Celebrity Comic Con.
No way. I was there.
You were there? Oh my
I
God.
was there.
Were you working or attending?
Gosh. I live in Nashville, but I wasn't there. I was on a Kevin Smith cruise.
Yeah, sense. I was sitting with Christian Ball, who's from the Has Been Hotel Hell of a Boss universe.
All right, that's amazing. I literally attended because I was like, oh my gosh, my con wish has come true. I literally flew to Nashville, which is about 1,200 miles from here, to meet Jamie Campbell Bower, who is Vecna from Stranger Things.
And that was a line.
That was a line.
But
I had VIP, so it was fine.
Okay. No, see, backing up, again, for all the newbies that have never attended a Comic-Con, like, you purchased a VIP ticket so you could get headline cuts, kind of like you do at Disneyland. How long was the line?
So the line for VIP wasn't too bad. I think the longest I waited was maybe 30 minutes, but I know general admission is typically anywhere between 5 to 6 hours.
Yep. See, this is why you get a fast pass.
and for those that are like, it's a lot of money. I understand that, but you're literally paying to skip the line.
Yeah. I mean, it's usually 3, maybe 4 times as much as a general admission ticket.
Typically,
yes. But again,
it just
she has a point.
depends on the convention, because each one is going to have a different price point. So I can't say laterally across the board it's going to be the same price, but you're paying for convenience.
You're able to see 4 or 5 celebrities because you got a fast pass versus only seeing one in the 4 or 5 hours.
Correct. Because that whole trip, I met so many wonderful people, aside from just the well-known names, made a lot of friendships, made friends with crew members, with vendors. And I think that's really important is, every interaction you have to make sure that first impression lasts, because it has a way of not only impacting that person's life, but that could be someone who's going to be in your life for however long that season lasts.
I do that all the time. Like, I have a business card right here for Quick Draw t-shirt apparel.
Amazing.
I met them in San Antonio. Here's another one for Jennifer's Cakes by Jennifer. Again, I just got a text message from them saying, hey, your crew's going to be in San Antonio in a couple of months. Please let us know if you need anything. And it's like,
amazing.
Wow, that's so awesome that they would text me and just ask, hey, if you need anything, let us know. We see you're going to be there. And again, making those connections. So awesome. Yeah. And you're doing it the right way.
Trying to.
What were the other shows?
Yeah.
So after Nashville, I had 2 cons in 1 month and about almost 2 weeks apart from each other. So in March was Awesome Con in Washington, D.C.
Oh my gosh, I wanted to go to that.
And
was
then
that the one where Firefly made the big announcement?
Yes. When Firefly, I was there and I waited 2 hours to meet Nathan Fillion, which was worth it.
That's normal for him.
I had to add him to my Marvel autograph collection because every time that I go to a con, I'm trying to add to my Marvel collection because I am a big Marvel fan.
When was that? March?
So I'm sorry?
Was that in March?
Yes, that was in March.
Yeah.
That was the beginning part of March. And then about a week and a half later, then I went to Kansas City for Planet Con.
Guess who was there?
You were also there.
I was also there. Oh my gosh.
And of course, everywhere she was, I was on the opposite end. So like when you were in Awesome Con, I was in Emerald City. When you were at Planet Comic Con, I was in Richmond. doing a Galaxy Cons. It's like funny. Like,
so you're just trying to avoid me.
Yes, both of you.
Basically. Now I'm just going to have to text Liz and be like, so where are we meeting up now?
Yeah, that's right.
Where Kent is not.
Basically.
It's only half as fun if I'm not there.
I don't know. Liz and I had a great time at Fan Expo and you weren't included, so.
Fair.
Well, did she invite you to the after parties?
I don't do after parties because I'm usually in a bathtub reading at that point.
Did she invite you to dinners?
Yeah.
See?
So at that point, no, because conflict of interest.
Awesome. Well, so, all right. So you did Planet Comic Con, you did Awesome Con, you did Nashville Con, and then, of course, now you did Denver Con. But Denver Con, you weren't a guest or
an attendee.
An attendee. You were more of a volunteer.
Yep.
So
I was what I like to call Krubie.
Krubie. Okay. So what made you decide that? I know you wanted to learn the ins and outs of the backside of everything. What was that process like?
So that process was actually pretty simple. I had always seen on any Comic-Con that I've attended volunteer or crew application. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And if they say yes, awesome. If they say no, awesome. You know, I put myself out there. And the application is pretty self-explanatory for anyone that is wondering. Like, you literally have to fill it out just like any job application.
How did you find it?
And there's always a verification process that comes through it.
Just experience, hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a point when I was at PlanetCon, I was talking to Garrett Hedlund's handler, just that I had applied for Fan Expo, but I hadn't heard anything. So I was hoping, you know, fingers crossed, I was going to work it. And she's like, actually, Gabriel Luna's handler works for the company that hires for them. Why don't you go have a conversation with her? You know, maybe touch base and see, like, maybe something was missed. And we had this conversation and she's like, actually, if it said you were eligible in the email, we'll hire you. So you're good to go. Do you recall receiving an email saying you're eligible? And I was like, yes, I did. She's like, okay, you should probably get another email saying these are your tentative hours and go from there. I'm like, okay. And then she was correct. About a week and a half before the show, I had my schedule.
So it's pretty simple. Where did you go to find the application? Because a lot of people I know are like, oh, I want to volunteer. Where would they go? What did you do? How did you find it?
So that would be under, if I'm not mistaken, like usually when you go on to a specific Comic-Con's website, it'll say like info. So plan your stay, suggestions for the show, contact us, crew application.
There you go. Just found it, filled it out,
yep,
and then just waited for a response back.
Yep. It was pretty simple. Probably the easiest application I've ever done in my life.
Well, there you go. Now, being somebody that does a lot of Comic-Cons like myself and Liz, how was your first experience being a Krubie at the Denver show?
Honestly, it was something I was very nervous about. Like, I think it's very common and valid to have kind of that first day jitters because everything's new. It's rapid pace. Just like, hey, these are the rules. And if you have any questions, let us know. It's very much as you go about it, you're going to learn about it kind of situation. Obviously, you get this email that will tell you these are the do's and don'ts, like what's covered, what's not covered. Ask questions, come ready to adapt and be flexible, which I was like, okay, so here are the things that are going to happen. Some things are going to be very self-explanatory. Some things I'm just going to have to figure out, and I'm okay with that. It's very much you're not going to know what's going to happen until you actually get in there and do it. So my biggest takeaway from that is definitely come in and be malleable. Definitely have open communication, whether you're working photographs, autographs, if you're doing more behind the scenes stuff, definitely over communicate versus no communication.
And your job was?
I was working celebrity autographs, and I was frontline. So basically letting people know these are the prices, have your form of payments ready. Yes, they do accept a credit card, but just know that it's going to be a 3% charge on your card.
So you were the first person they got to meet before getting up to the celebrity, and so you were
before
just
getting up
them.
to the handler and then the celebrity.
There you go.
And you took pictures too.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
took
I bet
pictures.
You're a pro now.
Well, I wouldn't say pro. I'm still learning, and that's the thing is, no matter how many times you can do a specific job at a Comic-Con or even in your regular life, things are going to change. So you have to adapt with that.
Awesome.
Yes. And we were neighbors.
We were neighbors.
You were with Vanessa.
I was with Vanessa Marshall and David W. Collins, who are prominent voice actors, probably more known right now for the Star Wars universe.
Okay. Are you a Star Wars person?
So that's a very complex question.
Is it?
So
it's either a yes or a no.
I do enjoy them, but I don't know for sure if I am a very big Star Wars fan. I feel like there's a lot of the universe that I do not understand, and I would like to, but a lot of it just goes over my head, to be honest.
And that's for most people. I mean, Star Wars, Star Trek, the parallel universe, all that stuff's like, oh my gosh, it just gets so confusing. So it's kind of like a Doctor Strange movie. It's like, what is happening?
I understand, like, with the multiverse. Yes. Absolutely. But I was also, like, that was introduced to me when I was very young. So I think had Star Wars been introduced into my life when I was very young and it was explained to me like I was 5 years old, I might have a better understanding. Now, that's not to say that I couldn't still learn. Like, I can absolutely still learn. But I think that there's just a lot of backstory that I'm not understanding. Like, when people are like, oh, so which of the episodes do you like? I'm like, question, what episodes are the first 3 original movies? Because I get confused.
Yes.
4, 5, and 6. And that's just because of, for us, it's 4, 5, and 6 because that's what we grew up with.
Originals,
the younger
and
generation will say 1, 2, and 3. So.
Yeah. So that's what confuses me because I'm like the original 3. And then everyone's like, oh, so this, and this episode. I'm like, sure, I think. I don't know.
There you go. Well, awesome. Well, thanks for answering that question. I would say I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm a fan of everything Comic-Con. So,
and that's the great thing about Comic-Con. Like, it's inclusive. No one feels left out. Like, whether you're really into something or you're just beginning to learn about it, you don't feel like you don't belong.
Exactly. I mean, look, we accept British Liz.
Listen.
Hey.
Let's go in a little background here. So,
background here.
Little background.
Here comes the mafia.
So, growing up, I have very fond memories of a lot of British music being played in my house because my dad is a very big Beatles fan. And I do recall always listening to songs specifically from the White Album. So, for one of my dad's birthdays, I want to say this was about 10 years ago, I did get him a pretty extravagant gift. I will never tell him how much I paid for it, but I got the White Album on vinyl.
Ooh.
And I told him to never open it because he hasn't opened one that he's played. And I'm like, do not open this. This is a keepsake.
That's right. Wow. Frame that sucker up.
I want to eventually do that with his Rolling Stones albums as well. And I know he has a couple others, Smokey Robinson, Jimi Hendrix, and some Creedence as well.
Nice. Well, I know you came on here, you were invited by Liz, and she's like, oh, we got a newbie and stuff like that. And it sounds like you're well experienced. I mean, obviously you've attended Comic-Cons. the Denver one was your first experience as a Krubie. I'm using that term now. I'm going to trademark that, Krubie. But
I just think it's cute because it's like you don't know.
It's better than just crew or a volunteer. I always hate the word volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
I just to me it just sounds degrading. Like, oh, I'm a volunteer. Like, you can't afford it. Like, the thing is the volunteers actually pay more to be at the show than the guests or the attendees, because you got your hotel, you got all the expenses getting there, and then you got to show up early, you got to do this, you got to do that. You don't have that flexibility. So I feel the volunteers actually pay more or spend more than just the attendees and stuff. So I don't like the word. I think crew is a better term, or a Krubie.
Yeah.
We'll like that. Sorry, I'm losing my voice.
It's a smush of crew and newbie, because I was
there
like,
I like that.
I am a newbie and I'm crew, and I feel like no matter what part of crew that you go up to, you're still going to be a newbie at some level of it. So Krubie, I feel like, is just a form of unity.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's a great word. I love it.
It is. And it's awesome because, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's got a nice microphone. And I'm like, oh, she's done this before. She's been on a podcast or something. I mean, like, really. And then we started talking before the show. You're a little gamer there, a little nerd.
Know.
Yeah, you're a gamer nerd.
I prefer gamer girl.
Girl? All
right. Jokes aside, no, when the pandemic hit and we were all told that we were to stay in our houses and social distance, that is really hard for a lot of people, especially those that rely on ways of communication. And since I live pretty far from home,
civilization,
where a lot of my family and friends are, my best friend, he suggested, why don't you try doing content creation on Twitch? Ooh. I think you would be really good at it because you have a way of relating to people and making them feel like they belong. And so when he first pitched that idea, I was like, you're out of your mind. I'm not doing it. No way. Fast forward to 2 weeks later, I was starting to feel that rut of, I need socialization. I need human interaction. I need this for my mental health.
Sure.
So it was a long shot. I tried content creation on Twitch, and I have made a lot of great friends on Twitch, as well as I've built a community that is really about accepting you as you are, really promoting positivity, love, and acceptance for all walks of life. The thing that I always like to start my streams with and end my streams with is, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are loved, and you are enough just the way you are. Because I don't know what someone is going through, but I can tell them these things, and maybe I can make a difference in their life.
Oh, that's great.
I love that. That's exactly what Liz and I are doing with Conversations with Coffee. Is we just want to make a difference. If it's one person or a whole bunch of people, we just want to make a difference and just allow them to have a great experience at these shows or these events that they go to. So thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, do you have a Twitch handle, or how can people find you on Twitch? Like,
I am in the process of potentially changing my Twitch handle.
Okay. Well, then we'll have you back and you can tell everybody. I've switched my...
So it is twitch.tv fortune cookie.
Can you spell that?
Yes. So that is for, if you go on Twitch, it is FORTUN_cookie. And that is actually a play on my heritage because I am half Chinese and I am half European.
Yeah, like fortune cookie. I caught it right away and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good one. And of course, when you crack open the cookie, you get good stuff like Leah.
Sometimes. I mean, I am a spicy little bean.
Yeah, she's got a witch coffee cup. So there you go. So, with doing the gaming and all that, you've made a lot of friends. I know Jason Mewes because of Kevin Smith. he is always twitching. Like he's on there twitching and stuff. I know he makes a lot of money doing that. And I guess it's the following and stuff like that. Tell me a little about Twitch. I don't know much about it, but I know you play video games. Yes. People watch you. You get paid for it. For them watching your content, kind of like Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. You can pretty much monetize anything. So the way Twitch works is originally it was just for video gaming, but now a lot of people utilize it for cooking streams, for life advice, for an amalgamation of things. And they do pre-roll ads once you become a Twitch affiliate. So you can monetize on it. Now, the thing with Twitch, though, is it really just depends. And I've always told my viewers, I'm like, you can if you want to subscribe, but I don't need your subscription. Like, I get it. Life is incredibly expensive and it can be bothersome with how much bills are stacking up. So I've always told people that if you do subscribe, first off, thank you. Not necessary. But second, it is going to go towards paying bills. Like I am always forthcoming about what it is utilized for.
Hey, if we got a sponsorship, I would tell them where all the money's going to because, right now it's all out of our pocket and it would be great to have a coffee sponsorship or a gaming sponsorship because, podcasting is not cheap, but Liz and I have a passion about sharing information, and we both came together and we're like, it doesn't matter if it costs us $300 a year or $600 a year. We're just going to get the content out because we want to help people. And of course, her and I like to talk a lot and we like to share funny things that happen or, hey, here's a tip. Like Liz literally has a bag for Comic-Con of the stuff in her bag that we shared on an episode of all the stuff you need to bring to a Comic-Con.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff you need.
Okay, here's thank you. So what would be 2 things that you would recommend to our listeners that they need to bring to a Comic-Con to have a good experience?
Well, obviously the list is longer than 2.
Okay, well,
obviously.
Name a couple of the important
ones. All right. So in my experience of attending Comic-Cons, the number one thing that I tell people all the time is refillable water bottles. Like you need to hydrate. Absolutely. The older I've gotten, I've realized how important it is to listen to your body. And when your body is telling you that you need sustenance, water, Gatorade, food, you listen. You need a break, go take a break. So water, refillable water, obviously is the biggest one, especially if you are visiting somewhere that is higher altitude. A multitude of attendees and guests will get altitude sickness because they're coming to Denver and they were coming somewhere that was at sea level. So that makes them sick, and that's understandable.
My guest came from New York and he was like, and I'm like, drink water, drink water, drink water. And then the next day he actually went to the corner store and got oxygen.
Yep.
And I was like, can you feel a difference? He goes, no. But at the end of the day, he goes, I don't feel as bad as I did yesterday. And I'm like, good.
Yes. Even if you don't feel thirsty, you have to hydrate.
Yep. All right. Drink your water.
Yes. Drink your water. And if you don't want to pay the money for the electrolytes, even adding just a sprinkle of salt in your water will help. Absolutely.
Oh, yes, because you can get those little hydration packets that you just put in a bottle of water and it gives it some flavor and some...
Like Liquid Death. No sponsorship here.
Is that what that's called?
Yes, there's one called Liquid Death. It always sounds like when people are opening it, I feel like they're opening a can of beer, but it
looks it too.
So aside from water, I definitely also recommend wearing clothes that can breathe because you never know what the temperature is going to be like in the Comic-Cons. For example, I run warm. So I'm always, if I'm attending, I'm wearing clothes that can wick away moisture from my body because I know I'm going to be sweating. So even if it's like 4 degrees outside, I'm wearing summer clothes inside of a convention center because you add in how many people are attending plus whatever the AC is going to be at, it's going to be sweltering. And if you're cold easily, just put on a jacket that you can remove easily because your body's going to fluctuate. Now, if you don't want to purchase the VIP, which I always highly recommend, VIP or GA, always get a collapsible travel stool that you can bring.
Yeah.
Because even though I've done it multiple times, I'm just like, you know what? There's not a place for me to sit. I'm just going to sit on the floor. You will feel that later. Concrete floors are terrible for your body.
Terrible.
So definitely bring a collapsible stool. You can get them on Amazon for like, I think the most I've seen is like $40 for most of them. But the one that I have and that I've seen a lot is about $20. So it's easy to use and it's easy to collapse. I think I've shown a couple attendees how to collapse them and, extend them because it can be kind of confusing.
But it makes an enormous difference.
Yes, it makes a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
And the next one is, and this is going to be a hot topic kind of for some people, cosplay or not, wear comfortable shoes.
Yes.
Comfortable shoes make a difference.
The number of heels I saw at the last con, I thought, how are these ladies walking?
Well, were they in cosplay or were they just regularly dressed?
No, it was
full cosplay.
I was going to say cosplay, they don't wear the shoes for comfort. They wear the shoes for the look.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and I understand that.
After 6 hours?
Yes.
It must be agony.
Yes, absolutely. And then the other thing is if you know that you have some sort of need for nutritional value, definitely have at least like a candy bar on you. Like, for example, I am hypoglycemic, which is low blood sugar, and I know that can dip at any point. So I always have a candy bar on me to make sure that I don't go into kind of like a psychosis.
Really?
Yes, because it almost makes me feel like I'm going to pass out when my blood sugar dips too low. And I start getting spins. So definitely listen to your body on that.
Yes. And definitely do that, with water and snacks and things like that, just to have it on hand and listen to, starting to get dizzy.
Yes.
I started to get dizzy at one con. My friend said, sit yourself down. Here's some water with electrolytes. Don't move until you're feeling better again. So
absolutely. And then my last piece of advice is definitely make sure that you are stretching before and after cons. Attendee, Krubie, management. Because we are standing for long periods of times, our bodies, including our muscles, will tense up and they will lock. So you definitely need to make sure you stretch. And the best thing you can do after is definitely make sure you're elevating your legs. It makes a huge difference when you're sleeping at night.
I hear a new workout program by Leah for Comic-Cons.
Yes.
I did ballet for 20 plus years, so I'm very keen about listening to my body.
20 years of ballet?
20 years.
Toes gotta be like that.
My toes actually are not that bad. Definitely point shoes did ruin them.
Oof.
But, for the things you love, you do it.
That's right. Liz, so, I've been asking a lot of questions. I know you got some stuff to ask. Go for it.
Well, one question was, did you have a particular interaction with a fan or with Vanessa that was especially memorable?
With the fan, are you talking about one of her fans or just in general fans?
Oh, just anyone that you ran into.
What was a good? So to take off of what I wanted to say, fake British Liz, but what Liz said to you. Yeah, what was a good experience, or what was something memorable that caught your attention or eye that you're like, oh, I'm going to remember that, forever because it happened at the table or in the line or, while you were there at the Comic-Con?
So I have so many memories. from cons that I've attended just as a fan, because, you know, I'm always going to be a fangirl, number one. And that's why we go to conventions, is we're fans. I will have to say that a fan interaction that I'm always going to remember from Fan Expo is the time and attention that Vanessa took with this family. And I apologize, I might be remembering their names incorrectly, but it was a family. Darissa is the mother, Belle is the daughter, Nick is the partner, and Anakin is the child that was in the wheelchair. And Vanessa really took her time to make sure that they had the experience of a lifetime. And I remember seeing them on Sunday when they were going to meet the hobbits. And I stopped and I chatted with them for a little while. And they were incredibly sweet and incredibly kind. And just seeing Vanessa's interaction with that particular family and making sure that Anakin knew how loved he is as a child, despite disabilities, whether, you know, they are visible or invisible, really shows me how much compassion she has as a person. And I aim to be as compassionate and understanding and loving as she is. Like, I cannot say enough good things about Vanessa Marshall. She is an incredible human being.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. I mean, I sense that, but to hear that story is just amazing.
Yeah,
I'm so glad she took the time with them.
What a gem of a human being. I'm so incredibly lucky to have gotten my first assignments to be the voice actor side. A lot of them that I've met and I've chatted with didn't make me feel like, oh, because you're a new person, you have to do this. They were just like, if you need to do it, like, go do it. We're not here to tell you what to do. Like, yes, you're here to do a job and we need you to communicate with us. But first and foremost, your needs as a human being have to come first too. And that was always clear for me since day one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And you know, that's Tammy wonderful. Was zipping around in her scooter, giving everybody snacks.
Yes. Snacks. I think at one point on Thursday, she looked at me, Brookie? And I was like,
did
yes.
she? We love Tammy. Known her for years, and she was in our show a couple of episodes ago, and
she's very lovely.
Yeah, she's just wonderful. Well, I was also going to ask. I mean, I feel like it's completely obvious, but do you think you'll be a crew member again?
You know, that is something I contemplated. I would absolutely do it again. I would absolutely volunteer my time again. Yes, it is a lot of work and it is a lot of time being on. I think that is the biggest misconception, is a lot of people think, oh, well, you're working a Comic-Con, it cannot be that demanding. Listen, if the guests and the crew are exhausted after being on for 4 days, it is incredibly draining. Our bodies have shut down. Our minds have just like completely gone out the window, and we're just on autopilot. And that's not to say we're not making these impressions last at all, but we are also human. And after 4 days of just
you jumped in the deep end.
Yeah, after chit-chatting, it's just like, I want to go home and lay in my bed for the next 2 weeks and just recharge.
Yes.
But I would absolutely do it again without hesitation.
Yes. I mean, that's how we started. We were fans, and we said, well, how can we do this? How can we be involved?
Absolutely. And I think it's really cool to see it from both spectrums, because not a lot of people do get to see it from the fan perspective and then also the business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two sides, and a lot of people don't see the behind the curtain, is what I say. The volunteers, the crew, the staff that do all this stuff to make the show happen, and they're just an attendee, so they think, oh, well, this is just something simple that happens, and it's like, no, there's a lot of work that goes into making this whole thing hum smoothly.
No, 100%. And like I communicated with Liz every day that she and I were there because I am such an OCD person about time because growing up with a dad from New York, he's like, if you are 10 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And I'm like, okay. So I would get there. If my start time was 9:00, I was there at like 8:45 just to be safe. And I would go in and I would make sure that I would get Vanessa's table and David's table ready to go. And Liz was very kind and was showing me ways of reorganizing the 8x10s to where they would showcase each character without blocking things. And just really the attention to details, which I don't know if other people would take that time, but I appreciated it with Liz. And that's not to say they wouldn't. It's just that, this is the calm before the storm, before the floodgates open with the attendees. So it's like, okay, let's get everything ready to go. Yeah, and I really appreciated that, Liz.
Oh, well, you're so welcome. I mean, Lines was my first job in Denver. And in fact, that was a volunteer job before Fan Expo came along. And
well, yeah, they get paid now.
Yeah, they do get paid.
Dang.
I mean, usually when cons pay you, it is along the lines of peanuts, but
Pays for your autograph.
At least it's well, not usually, but at least it can pay food or it can cover a little bit.
Yes, but in my case, it's paying 6 months of my car insurance. Thanks, Fan Expo.
Oh, excellent! Because of course you didn't need to stay in a hotel as well, did you? You just
she lives
commuted.
there.
Yes, I live about 10 minutes west of the convention center.
Oh,
nice.
That's very convenient.
So when you attend, are you more of a panel person, a vendor person? Got to meet the celebrities and get the autographs? Like, what is it for you?
So I when I first attended Comic-Cons, I did it all. And then I realized that I was spreading myself very thin, to be honest, because you want to do everything, but it's just not possible. It's like trying to see all of New York City in a week. There's no way. You're just scratching the surface, like maybe 5 to 10% at best. So now I really have made it a point to just really meet the people that I've always been curious about. So I definitely go for the experience of exchanges with the celebrities. And if you would have told little me that I would have ever met John Stamos when I was a kid, I would have said you were lying. And I met him in December of last year, and he was the sweetest person.
That's wonderful.
Awesome. So was there any particular person that you wanted to meet while you were in Denver, and did it happen?
That's a great question. So I am a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Like, love.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Love, 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 love. I really wanted to complete my meetings of the Hobbits, but unfortunately it was all sold out, and that's okay. Like, I'm a firm believer of if it didn't happen now, that means it's meant to happen later. So I'm destined to meet Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan at a later time. But I did heal my inner teenage self, and I did have a photo up with Orlando Bloom, and he couldn't have been sweeter. So I will never get over that moment. But I did also get the chance to meet some other incredible people. Josh Holloway was super nice. Skeet Ulrich from Scream is such a giving person. Loved the conversation we had. And I really wanted to meet Matthew Lillard. But unfortunately,
he has lines.
With his lines and our limited breaks, I was like, I don't think it's feasible. And that's nothing against him. He really takes his time with people.
He does.
So I can't blame him on that. But I do have a picture with him and Skeet. So that's good enough for right now. It just means the next time I'm definitely good.
Yeah. It's funny because you're like mentioning all the people. And of course, when you work with an agent and you get green room access, you're in the green room with them and having lunch and having conversations with them. You're like, oh, it was just like this morning I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've always enjoyed Ron Howard as an actor, as a director, and things like that. And then I was just like, oh yeah, I literally had lunch with Bryce Howard in the green room, and I was
She's so sweet.
That was a good takeaway moment. Like, she is so sweet, and we were just enjoying lunch, and she just asked me how I was doing, how my day was going, and I was just like, and I'm not a fan. I don't fanboy about stuff. I just keep it real, and I could have been like, oh, I loved you in Jurassic Park, or I loved you in this, M. Night Shyamalan movie, but I didn't, and I was just like, we just had a lovely conversation. I was like, that was my takeaway from Denver Comic-Con, that, we just had this great conversation.
No, 100%. But I also don't think that she would consider you fanboying if you were like, I really enjoyed, you in Jurassic World. That's just you saying you appreciate her art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All the celebrities love to hear what you appreciate that they were in.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's something when we talk about being a fan and going to these conventions, I think that's the misconception, is a lot of people think, I cannot talk to them about how this movie or this show or this music changed my life. You can absolutely do that. They absolutely are like regular human beings. They do need that validation. They do need to hear that maybe the thing that didn't pop off right away and is now being admired by fans, they need to hear that. They absolutely do. And I have this conversation a lot with a lot of people that if you just talk to them like regular human beings, you actually get more out of that because they're more willing to just chit-chat about other things. An example of that kind of conversation that I've had is when I first met Sean Astin at Salt Lake City convention. Yes, Fan Expo.
Been there.
Yes. And this was my first time meeting him. Definitely grew up watching Rudy and so much of his work. And you got the Rudy. Yeah, let's go.
I got the Rudy helmet. Like, that's how big of a fan I am.
No, and that's totally fair. But I like to go in with conversations that a lot of people don't have with the people that they don't think are obtainable. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I let him know, like, hey, as much as I do love your work as an artist, I also want to talk to you about how I thought it was so brave that you went on to Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You podcast and really talked about the importance of mental health in honor of your mother, Patty Duke. And everything you're doing for SAG-AFTRA. I really appreciate it. And we had like a 5-minute conversation about it. And that he really wanted to speak more about it, but he's not sure if he could. And just that genuine connection, I'll never forget that interaction just because it was real. And it was just something we're both passionate about, is bringing awareness to mental health. And making sure that people know that there are resources and there's help out there and that you're not alone, So that was my first interaction with him and I will never forget it.
Yeah.
See, I love hearing that because I interact with him quite a bit. And it just, to me, watching him in the green room, he will literally forego his lunch to go sit down with another actor because he's the president of SAG now, and he's so passionate about it that he will forgo his lunch and just go sit down with another actor and ask them what's working, what's not working, what's this. And I've literally sat there just like, and I caught myself like having to raise my, close my mouth because I'm just in awe of what they're talking about and how passionate he is about that. that if you had a conversation like asking him about being president of SAG or any of that, oh my gosh, he will stop what he's doing just to have a conversation because he is so excited and so happy to be the president of SAG right now. But he's very passionate to make it better.
Yes.
And be able to create the changes that it's needed out there. So Sean, if you're listening, let's have you on the show because we could talk about that because you're amazing at it. I'm so glad that you're doing it. And yeah, thank you.
And he's in a position of power because he's such a nice guy.
He's loved by everybody.
Everybody loves him. And so they want to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
I think because he has the support of people liking him, he can actually get stuff done.
No, 100%. And
so
that's
good
the
for
thing.
him.
I tell people all the time is usually you can sense if you're going to generally get along with someone or not. Like I'm very into vibes. I can sense them. And when I meet people that are well known, I can usually sense by kind of how their line is moving. If the line isn't moving very fast, okay, they're taking their time. I know that they're really invested and they're appreciative of their fans. If their lines are going so fast, I'm like, something isn't adding up here. But I'm going to wait until I get an interaction. And I understand, they have good days and bad days, just like us. So I never take things personally. And I will never badmouth anyone. But generally, the people that you know to be the good ones, like Sean Astin, for example. Also, I can't say enough about Jamie Campbell Bower really taking his time with people and always just making sure that they're taken care of as well. Especially
Michael Rosenbaum.
Yes.
John Rhys Davis.
Yeah, John Rhys Davis, I adore him. And seeing how they interact with the crew. If they're treating the crew like an equal, that's a huge indication that they're a good person.
Ashley Eckstein.
Yes.
Bryce Papenbrook. We got a list.
We've got a huge list.
They're a huge list because there's so many genuine, real people out there. They're voice actors, they're actors, they're they're genuine people, but they do care about their fans. That's why they're excited to be at the shows. And that's why they get to go to the shows is because, the fans are excited to meet them. I mean, you said Matt Lillard.
Yes,
I remember
Lillard.
2-3 years ago, you could literally walk up to his table, get an autograph, and spend like 10 minutes talking with him. Remember that, Liz?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he's always, whenever he's been at a con I've been at, it's like they have to cap the line by noon because he is just slammed.
Yeah, but I would say it's 3 to 4 years pushing it, but I just remember. I mean, and that's part of the industry. It ebbs and flows. Like when you're doing something new and hot, like Scream, you're out in the limelight, and Skeet. He was doing Riverdale. So he was in the limelight, and then all of a sudden, more stuff came up. So now he's more in the limelight. But both of those guys are very genuine and nice guys. I've had great conversations with them, and we'll talk highly about them all the time.
Yes, absolutely. And you have to, because I think the biggest misconception is a lot of people think, well, my dreams aren't obtainable. I cannot meet these people. But that's the thing about Comic-Cons is no matter how unattainable you think that is, it is possible. And I, as a fangirl, always have had the dreams of meeting some of the people that I've always loved their work. And this one is very far-fetched. But one of my favorite actors is Denzel Washington. But I would just love to have a conversation with him about the inner workings of how he picks projects, because I've never in my lifetime have seen a bad movie from him.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a few
Can't
of them.
see him
like
coming
that.
to a Comic-Con.
I can't see that either, but just like in general, I would just love to have a conversation.
You guys both say that, but look who just showed up at a Comic-Con this last weekend.
Nicolas
Cage. Yeah,
that was a big deal.
People are like, no, that's not good. That'll never happen.
So I have a really funny story about that. So this was, this was a very long time ago, but I remember it clear as day.
Far away.
It's been 84 years. But anyways, my family and I were on vacation in Vegas, and we were walking the strip. I was very young, but I can remember this clear as day. There was parts of the strip that were taped off, and we had to go around. And I was just like, okay, well, that's bothersome. What's going on? We see that there is a back end of a plane that was crashed into a casino. And we're like, okay, that's weird. No news about like what's going on. We're like, oh, and then we see cameras. We're like, okay, so they're filming something. Fast forward to, I think, about a year and a half later, that is Con Air.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, as soon as you said plane, I was like, oh, Con Air.
Yes. So they actually, I forget the actual casino that they crashed it into, because I don't know if it was it's still in existence because so much has changed in Vegas. But that was a cool memory as a kid seeing, I'm just like, what's going on here? Why is there a plane in a casino? This makes no sense. Planes go in the sky, guys.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome. Well, Leah, I'm just glad that you were here, that you got to experience the other side of the Comic-Con. I appreciate you sharing your little tips and tricks. Is there anything else that you would tell somebody new? Because, you know, we see a lot of newbies come up to the table. They don't know what to do. They're fangirling and stuff like that. And again, that's why we do this podcast, is to help navigate your path through a show to make it more easier on you as a new first-time person at the show and stuff like that. Was there any other tip that you would share with them?
Absolutely. The biggest thing that I can say as both an attendee and somebody who's worked crew is definitely make sure you have cash on you and you went before the con, because ATMs, even though they are available, they can run out of money, and those actually have a higher fee than your normal bank. Even if you're coming from out of town, I guarantee you can find a credit union that would charge a lower fee. Cash is king in Comic-Cons, 100%.
This is our refrain every week.
We're laughing because we didn't tell you to say this or anything. You just put it on yourself. And we literally, I think in each episode, we're like, cash is king. Like, bring cash. You're like, you don't want to pay the fees. You don't want to run out of money. Bring more than you think you're going to need, because there's going to be somebody that you're going to be like, well, I want their autograph or a selfie with them. Like, we always say that. I think that's like our number one go-to is cash is king. Like, just bring cash.
Yeah, cash is king. Comfortable shoes.
Comfortable shoes.
Yeah, comfortable shoes. Also, you don't have to necessarily prepare what you want to say to the person you're meeting. I know it helps some people, but I feel like for me personally, it's like a grocery list. If I just try to memorize it, it's going to go out the door the second I walk into the grocery store. It's just like, it's gone. So just always remember, when you're talking to someone, talk to them with the same practices of boundaries and respect. If you want to give them a hug and they're accepting, always ask, may I give you a hug? Because we don't know if someone is okay with being touched or not. Always ask for consent. That's the biggest thing. And the other thing is, we cannot control our emotions. And I get that. Some people get very overstimulated and they tend to cry. So, you know, it's just like when I'm talking to my niece, like, you know, I understand you're upset or whatever emotion you're feeling, but I cannot understand you when you are crying. So trying to help them collect themselves so that way the guests can have an easier time of understanding them as well. Like, I get it. You know, when you're that excited, you're overjoyed and emotions just happen. I get it. We're all human. But if I can barely make out what you're saying, they can't either.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we've all been there.
Yeah. All been there. I mean, the only time I've really kind of fangirled out a lot was just like when John Stamos put his hand on like my upper back. And then he was like just gently like going back and forth like this, like rubbing it. And I'm like, Uncle Jesse, hello? Did not cry, but I was just like internally screaming.
Yeah. And Liz and I see that a lot with fans. And as handlers, that's our job, is to help them compose themselves before they get to the celebrity to get the picture, the autograph. And, we talk with them a lot while we're in lines. We're helping navigate a little bit because we get it. It's the first, like, I can't tell you how many times people have like come up to the table and like, oh my God. Like, and they're they're shocked. Like, you're really here. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I've seen you and I've never met a celebrity before. And they're just standing there and they're like, it's okay. Breathe, calm down, ask them a question. They're not going to bite, and then, shake their hand or pay for an autograph, what I mean? So yeah, it's the fun part of, that's why I love doing Comic Cons. I've been doing them way longer than I think you've been born.
I am older than I may look, though.
Okay. All right. Well, I started my first Comic Con back in 92.
I was, what grade was I in?
Great.
I was maybe starting pre-K.
Oh, there you go. See what I tell you. Yeah. So there you go. Well, it's been exciting. It has been fun. Leah, I'm glad you had a great experience at Denver. I'm glad that you met up with Liz and got to be a Krubie. And we look forward to having you come back. Liz?
But I know I speak for him when I thank you so much
close us out.
for coming on and giving us all your insight. And
thank you so much for having me.
Insight.
And thank you for being such a help. You, Oz, Sherry, Janet, you guys made everything so easy. And any questions that I had, any concerns, you guys were just so great in navigating those for me and making sure that how I felt was valid and heard, which is so important. And I also really appreciate you guys just taking the time to nurture me as a new Krubie.
Well, it's so important because you are a team.
Yes.
Even though I was not a crew member with Fan Expo, I was part of the behind the scenes to get everything working smoothly and, supporting each other in the various roles we have. It's just so important because, we want to have fun, but we want everyone to have fun.
Oh, he's back.
And here's Kent again. But anyway, I do so appreciate you coming and chatting with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And we'll have you on again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can tell us more about your Twitch.
Yes, video gaming. Right now I'm going through Dark Souls 3 again for the first time in like 6 months. So just relearning controls, relearning boss mechanics, relearning just my patience level.
Well, we look forward to hearing about your adventures. And thank you again. And hopefully we'll see you at a con soon.
Yes, I will be at Houston Celebrity Con. So maybe I'll see you then.
Okay.
But until then, have a wonderful night, you guys. Remember, you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are loved, and you are enough just the way you are.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Conversations with Coffee. Follow us on the socials at Cons with Coffee. And tune in next time for more conversations.